that I will get paperwork for this car. It might take me a while, but I'm in no hurry to get the title for this car. I have the owner's last name, or who it should be that owns it, and I'm using social media to try to track her down. Right now it's not working in my favor. It's only been up for about 3 or 4 days that I'm looking for her, and I've gotten 0 response and only a few shares. And I'm getting kind of conflicting reports from my family and other people that know of her. One says she's 2 towns over, but they don't know where in that town. Another cousin tells me, no, she's in West Virginia. And I've heard that from my nephew, that she was going to West Virginia. I don't know where she's at. She could be anywhere. And that's the way that's working out for me right now, is using social media to try to track her down. That might work in my favor. Like I say, I got some time, so I'll just wait until then. But I thought I'd tell you an interesting story that happened to me on this car. I've owned over 200 cars. Yeah, I know. That's a lot of cars. But the majority of them were used for parts cars. Some were just bought to pull a part off, and I resold them just to get rid of them, get what I needed off from them. Some were bought and flipped, and some were restored and kept. Some were restored and sold. But like I say, I've owned over 200 cars. Now, if I buy a car from out of state, or if I buy a car that's like questionable, from someone, hey, I got this parts car, but I got no paperwork or anything for it, I want to be sure I'm not dealing with a stolen car. So I always call my sheriff's department, my local sheriff's department, to come out and do a VIN check for me. It's just kind of save me from being in any kind of trouble should it be stolen. Well, just like this car, I know who owned it when they were alive. I know my nephew had it in storage forever. And I know that the guy that owned this, mom, passed away 2 years after he did. And supposedly she had the title, but they say she destroyed it. Well, then I'm told maybe the daughter has it, which is the woman I'm trying to get a hold of. But either way, I call the sheriff's department, and they send an officer out. And I'm just going to be honest with you, he was a dick. He came in here with an attitude or a chip on his shoulder or something right out of the gate. I figure since it was in the morning, I must have interrupted his coffee and donut break. Hell, I don't know. But he came in here and wanted to know where the paperwork was. And I told him, hey, I bought it out of a storage unit. I don't have any paperwork on it. And I told him the manager's name. He goes, oh, I know her too. And I said, well, great. That makes it easy because I've known her for years. And he proceeded to tell me that he wasn't going to give me any paperwork. And I said, well, wait a minute. I said, every sheriff that's ever looked at a car has given me a piece of paper with my name, the VIN number of the car, the date they checked it, just to prove that it's not a stolen car. And you charge me $5 for the piece of paper, and I have that information and that proof that's not a stolen car. And he proceeded to tell me that he's not going to give me one because I do not have paperwork for the car. And I said, well, yours will be the first piece of paperwork I have. I always want it checked before I do anything. And he said, well, you're not going to get a piece of paper from me. I said, fine. I said, can you at least do the VIN check so I know if it's a stolen car? And he said, well, I don't see no reason to do a check for you. He goes, because you can't own the car. And I said, all I need is proof that it's not stolen. If it's stolen, I need the owners to come and get their car. And he told me, well, if I run a VIN check and it comes up stolen, I'll have to arrest you. And I said, for what? And he said, for having stolen property in your possession. I said, that was the whole purpose of calling you out here, is to protect me from being arrested. And he said, well, that's not how it works. If you have stolen property, I got to take you to jail. It's just the way it is. And I said, you got to be kidding me, right? I said, I've never had anyone tell me that before. I said, I still want the VIN check. And he said, well, if it comes up stolen, I'm going to have to arrest you. I said, you know what? Run the VIN. I'll be out in a few hours if I get arrested. All my story's going to check out. And he goes, all right, we're going to call it in. And he called it in, and it came back clean, clear, nothing wrong. And I looked at him and said, well, I guess I'm not going to go to jail today then, huh? And he didn't even crack a smile. He didn't even laugh. This guy was 100% dick. And I said, okay, well, thanks for checking, see if it's stolen. And he said, well, what are you going to do with it? Because you got no paperwork, you got nothing, you can't do a thing with this car. And I said, well, the motor's worth more than I paid for the car. I said, I'll just sell the motor off. He goes, whoa, 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 wait right there. He goes, if you start selling parts off the car, I'll have to arrest you for selling stolen car parts. And I said, now wait a minute. How is this stolen car parts if the car's not stolen? I said, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. And he just kind of looked at me. And I said, you know what? I said, you have a nice day. I got things to do today. And he walked off. And I got to be honest with you. In all the years I've done cars, all the years I've asked for VIN checks from the local police department, the sheriff's department, or the state police, I've never had one tell me that I was going to be arrested if the car came up stolen. I was just flabbergasted, so just have to wait and see and try to decide what we're going to do with this car. But right now, it's just going to sit in here for at least a year or two, or until I can get a title for this thing, which I don't think it's going to take that long, but I'll keep working at it, and we'll see what happens. But I thought I'd just share that story with you guys. Evidently, even if you call your local authorities to cover you so you don't own a stolen vehicle, they're still going to haul your ass off to jail. I don't know why. But hey, thanks for watching my video. If you like it, please share, subscribe. Later.